Hey everybody, welcome to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast, the crypto podcast for the man's man and the women who love them. Today, we got a very special episode. We're going to be talking about some really exciting stuff. I'm your co-host, BidBoy. This is your other co-host, Jay Chains. What's going on?
What is up? How you doing today?
Whoa, that was like an anticlimactic pop there. You were like, what happened there?
Oh, it's like I'm trying some sound effects. We're going to start working on sound effects. Let me like the guy from, what was that, the cop movies in the 80s?
Police Academy.
Thank you. Yes.
That's a great movie. So we got a special guest with us today, right?
Yeah, we're super excited. We're going to hang out and chat with Adel, who's the co-founder and one of the developers at DAPS Coin. And then we've got Andrew, who is also a co-founder, right? Or the CTO?
Yeah, not a co-founder, just the CTO.
Just the CTO.
Yeah. just the guy that's trying to make it happen and getting gray hairs in the process.
There you go. My apologies. But yeah, we're super excited. Super excited to chat with you guys about your project. But importantly, we want to talk about what's going on with Coinmarketcap, because we've all seen a ton of stuff going online, especially on Twitter, things going back and forth. So we're excited to dig into this, kind of get your perspective, talk about what the whole idea of CoinMarketCap is and what they represent to the community, which some people are having trouble with, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So earlier, the whole CoinMarketCap thing changed over a weekend or Friday in US time. And got up on a Saturday morning, and that's when I made the video on Twitter just to talk about it. And I was just shocked that, overnight we fell over 1,000 rankings, and it just doesn't make sense. The community panicked and people were like, what's going on? And I was like, okay, whoa, let me just jump on a live video, have a conversation, quickly give my perception and opinion on it from what I could see. And it just spiraled from there, because it's just the more I dig into it, the more questions we ask, the more, we just want a straight, simple answer. Nothing is being answered in a straight, simple answer. So that's how it all started.
Yeah. So in case you don't know, if you're listening to the show and you don't really know what's going on, like she was saying, about a week ago or so, CoinMarketCap changed their algorithms. And so projects that were, in the hundreds, anything below 200, you probably had a chance that you got shot down to the thousands. And so it was a tough couple of days for everybody.
Yeah.
You did a video on this, didn't you?
Yeah, we went from 176, I believe it was, to 1,163 or something in that range. So their original thought or their original message to us was like, hey, we changed this in July already, and it's taken time for these things to take place. So it was just over a month where nothing happened. And we were taking over some pretty important coins at the time. As I see, to get into the top 200, you got to be up there. And all of a sudden, boom, the one day we just woke up and things were a little bit pear-shaped.
Well, buried.
Yeah.
Literally buried, because nobody scrolls past the top 200, maybe top 300, because there's smaller projects out there that's really good. I would say most people will probably go to, the top 300 rank, because you get a lot of day traders and people that look at upcoming projects and things like that. Now, I think what really, really got to me, that made me upset the most, is the fact that scams or known dead ICOs, that there's that one ICO in Envian or IVN.
Envian, yeah. That
was a $90 million scam that's been closed down. The government closed them down trying to get the money out of it. The website's down, everything.
They went through a lawsuit.
Yes, and they were still ranked in the top 200. They were still sitting up there, and I was like,
Bitcoin's still in there. Everybody knows Bitcoin's a pump and dump scam, basically. It's still like top 50. So
yes,
even CoinMarketCap up till I think it was still a month or two after BitConnect was sort of shown to the public to be a scam. They still were running ads.
Yeah,
for it.
I remember that.
The thing is for us at the end of the day, realistically, what it comes down to is just that it doesn't seem like the ranking system affected everybody simultaneously and affected them in a manner that is replicable. I've been doing IT for 20 years. I know how websites work. I know how algorithms work. I know what happens when you apply a patch to a database, and how that affects your data with, on the page at the time. And everything should change instantly and simultaneously. It shouldn't be a scenario whereby one project is affected by it and then another project isn't. Everybody should have, there should be an effect across the board, not to mention the fact that if you are affected by it, your ranking should not be able to be changed and go back up like what we saw with KuCoin shares, for example. You know, they were hit by it. They were top 100. I think they were even in the top 50. They went down to 1,000 something odd. And then a few days ago, they went back up to 43. And I asked the guys on Twitter, I said, listen, you know, so what did you change? How did you get this right? And they said they didn't change anything.
Yeah, we can actually read it right here from Twitter for you. They responded, not that much. The team simply reached out to CoinMarketcap for clarification, and they rectified that KuCoin should indeed be allowed in the top 200, just like how it was before. That was the response. And then we said, okay, can you please share the clarification? Because we would also like to know how this was done. And it's just dead silence. No response from anybody. So clearly the system is flawed. If you can just manually, like that's $90 million scam ICO thing I tweeted about, the moment I tweeted about it, 2 hours later, they deranked him to 1,170. Okay, so manually adjusted it. And they didn't even remove them.
Yeah. According
to their delisting policy. Their delisting policy clearly states that they remove scams, ICOs, dead projects. What they did instead is put that known dead scam ICO in the same kind of ranking as us. That's a legit project that's running. It's got currently a market cap of nearly 20 million.
Yeah, I think people, this is something that I've really learned over the last couple of weeks. And it's one of these things that, you know, I guess maybe everyone knows it. I'm not sure. But, you know, CoinMarketCap.com is the #1 crypto site, period. It's bigger than Binance, bigger than Cointelegraph, bigger than Coinbase. It is literally the #1 ranked crypto website by a long shot.
Yes.
And, you know, I think when you take that into consideration, you know, they have a responsibility to do things the right way, in my mind. And if you're going to take a project and you're going to say, okay, we're changing the qualifications for what is going to be considered a 200 ranked project, then you should like move them down maybe a few spots below that. I mean, you shouldn't move them down 1,000 spots because this hurts your credibility. You know, when people are going to that coin, and I don't know, maybe the first time some people had heard of your project might have been through this thing, through, you know, all of the news around CoinMarketCap dropping projects, and they go and they see, oh, it's in the 1,200s. It might not be significant because, like you said, there's a cutoff. It's somewhere between 1 and 400. Like definitely projects that are ranked 400 and higher, people just don't even really give them a second look, you know?
No.
So I think it's unfortunate the way that it all happened. I think they need to do something, you know?
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, again, what it comes down to is if you have an algorithm, a mathematical algorithm that says input these variables and you receive an output, and that output is then your ranking. That's fine. That's great. We don't know what's happening in the background.
Yeah.
There is no way for me to replicate their ranking system because we don't know what it is. We don't know how it works. You go to CoinGecko. You go to CoinGecko. You go, oh, okay, great. You know, I can see the algorithm. I can see how it's working. I can input my own values.
Sense.
Correct.
It makes sense.
Whereas with CoinMarketCap, we asked them. We said, look, you know, what is your algorithm? How does it work? What are the things that you take into account? Well, they can't tell us, or they don't want to tell us. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, if you pull up the methodology, so where they say you got to be listed with a data partner, it's got to be 3 regulated and licensed exchanges, and that to me also is a massive concern. Well, if you look at the top 100 projects, or even top 200, let's talk about that, I can't tell you how many hundreds of them that don't meet that criteria. They're not listed with data partners, or they may be listed with one data partner and then with something like Yobit and Gravy, smaller, bad reputation exchanges, but they're not with 3 centralized, or they are with 3 centralized, but it's like GravyX and, you know,
ones that count marginally at best.
So I'm like, okay, so they don't even apply to those rules. We are listed with one of their data partners, which is Buybox, and then we've got our other smaller exchanges and another big one, which is Bitmart. They're quite big in our volume. but there's no answers. But my concern with that is as well, if you look at the current data partners that they have, it's all massive exchanges. Now, I can tell you from working on this project for the last year and trying to get exchange listings and all that, these projects do not charge under $150,000 for listing.
Right.
Some charge $500,000. Some charge $1 million. Some charge $1 million to keep for a year because they want to keep your volume going. Plus, they require minimum market makers, which you have to give $100,000 to $200,000 in wallets to trade with. And then you got to pay the listing fee. Plus, you got to give them your coin, your token. Okay? So you're talking about one listing costing you easily between $250,000 to $500,000. Okay? Yeah. Just to get on, because they know they've got monopoly. They know that the people, they've got this name. But how do they get this name? Can I tell you, in my opinion, how they get the name is by market making. Every single exchange I've applied to before requires me to get market making. Market making is market manipulation, which is illegal, especially in the US. But nobody talks about it. Why? Because they let the project sign NDAs. So we can't talk about it. Mm. But that's a big problem. But I always refuse to play that game. I don't want to get market makers. I don't want to lie to my investors. I don't feel the need to lie. But now it's hurting me because now I'm getting penalized, being put in rank 1,000, completely buried. Everybody's freaking out. Our price is taking a hit. Our market cap dropped down to like 16 million a while back because people don't understand it. Now for future exchange listings, now it's even harder. Because what do the exchanges do?
Now they're going to want more. Now they're going to want even more to put your coin on there.
Exactly.
And they look at your Coinmarketcap ranking, and if they see we're sitting at 1,100, they're going to go, no, we don't want to list you. So you're doomed. You're just doomed.
Yeah, well, you just got too much power. You know, it's almost like Binance. Binance as an exchange has too much power. Coinmarketcap as a resource has too much power.
Yes.
But the question I'll ask you guys is, doesn't that create centralization? Which is
100%.
Yep.
Exactly. But that's the opposite of what cryptocurrency was built for. It's again, the tenets of crypto, you know, and I don't want to sort of, you know, become all, you know, a Bitcoin maximalist and all of that sort of thing. But really what it was built for was to decentralize the financial industry.
To stop manipulation, to stop third parties from having an input, for manipulating data as they see fit.
And what you have now is, as you guys have correctly stated, you know, you've got Binance, which, I mean, they're a monolith in and of themselves. But then you've got CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap realistically should be a neutral third party.
Should be 100%.
Anything. No, because now they're policing projects as well. Does CoinMarketCap really want the responsibility of policing 2,500 projects? Are they going to be held liable? Because now they're making themselves liable. Because now they're ranking scams and data. Just to bring up the most bizarre example ever, to put this into perspective. You know, the history of DAPS is we were going to fork off from PCN, and that was the whole background of DAPS, right? That was the project. We were going to use that little community around PCN, grow it from there, and then swap and change over to DAPS and the project. But that didn't work out. PCN was highly manipulated. There was massive pumping and dumping. We were like, no, this is just bad. Let's just cut it off right away. Give the current people that's part of our project DAPS tokens, and let's get the product built and then move to DAPS. Okay, so that's the history of it, right? PCN is dead. It's dead. There's nothing
I didn't even know that when I brought that up earlier.
Yes, it's a completely dead project. I know this because that's our history.
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going on.
I tell my people this all the time. Stay away from that thing.
Yes. And they are ranked higher than we are. They were ranked 900 and something.
That's the first coin. When this happened, I found out about this. I found out about this from Jay Chains. He told me about it first. I went and looked at your video. Then Apollo reached out to me and told me, you know, it happened to them as well. The first coin I went and looked at was Bitcoin. I said, is Bitcoin still in there? And it was. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Bitcoin as well.
No, Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
Like I say, you know, a neutral third party should be a trusted source. So it should be a case of, I can go to you as this third party. I can look at what the information you're giving me, whether it's CoinMarketCap or not, whether it is another site.
CoinGecko, Crypto Compare, there's many of them.
No. So whether it's another site, whether it is different information, it needs to be a neutral third party. It needs to be somebody that says, hey, listen, this is how we do things. This is how we rank things. And yes, I get it to an extent. I do understand that they're trying to eliminate projects and eliminate exchanges that game the system. Right. We understand this. This is crypto. Everybody's trying to make, not trying to game it, but they're trying to make a better system, or they're trying to, you'll get those elements that will attempt to manipulate things to their advantage. I get it. I understand it. And I get that CoinMarketcap is potentially trying to eliminate that. But the way they're doing it is just wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's very dangerous.
Okay, so
it's very dangerous. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head when you said, I mean, this is decentralization at its best, really. This is what we're trying to avoid. And it's kind of like there's, people talk about the fake exchange volume. Like that's the big thing people are scared about, the bots, the wash trading, the whole 9 yards. So instead of doing the hard work and figuring out ways to stop those things, it's just like easier to just like, let's just make a quick sweeping change. And if some projects that are good get caught up in that, then you know what? That just is what it is. And it feels like that's the attitude that they took. And they should not have that kind of power, because as a YouTuber, right? I've got to say, well, I don't have to say this. This is probably like a myth, it's one of those things like, don't go swimming 30 minutes after you eat, like this is not financial advice. I'm sure by saying that'll save me from a lawsuit. But the reason why YouTubers say that is because, they don't want to be held liable. Well, CoinMarketCap, by manipulating the way that these coins are listed and people are making financial decisions based on, where these projects are in the top 100 or 200, like to me, that seems pretty liable,
Exactly.
The question that I would ask as well is in terms of liability, how far does that liability stretch? Because if you're stating that you are a ranking system and there's no disclaimer anywhere, at least there's not one that I could find yet, that says that this is just data that is provided by them. It's not, it shouldn't be used for any decisions or anything of that nature. And without a properly disclosed algorithm, I would say their liability stretches quite far potentially.
Oh, especially because they take money for advertising. I mean, I think GoBit's advertising on CoinMarketCap right now.
Yeah, they are. And just to add to the conversation is why I'm keeping on about this topic is I've received evidence from other projects who's reached out to me regarding this and has sent me evidence of CoinMarketCap staff asking them to manipulate the tokenomics of their project. And this, it's hard evidence. It's emails. I've got it all. I've actually also spoke to one of the data partners that I've got a good connection with, one of the exchanges. And I said, hey, how did you guys apply to become a data partner? What was the process? Did you pay anything? Is it free? Whatever. And he said, nothing happened. They just decided to put us up as a data partner. So I've got all this evidence. That's why I'm not letting this go, because there's clearly manipulation going on behind the scenes that we've got black and white proof of, that staff are manipulating data to fit whoever. I don't know if they're paying, if it's, CoinMarketCap staff as well. What projects do they not own coins of? Isn't it in their best interest to rank projects at certain ranks so they get more visibility, so they make more money, so CoinMarketCap staff benefits from this? You see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
We were talking about, before we kind of went on air here, about, I just found out that this is not really related in terms of crypto, but I found out that there are Instagram staff members that are selling verification checks. And it costs a lot of money to get one of those checks, in between about $5,000 to $7,000. And what that does is it buys you the access to the people that will go ahead and give you the check instead of waiting in the line that could take you years. And if we don't think that stuff's happening in crypto, then, we're asleep. Like my real question would be with this is, who's putting the pressure on them to do it? That's, I don't think it's probably just internal. I mean, we look at the reach of a company like Binance and, they got their finger on everything. And I don't know what the end game is, but I would be willing to bet that this is not a strictly internal decision to change this algorithm. I bet they're getting this pressure from somewhere else.
That's potentially the case, but we've got to look at it from two perspectives, I think. The first is, look what happened with Facebook. Right? Facebook started out, it was just a social media site and, it was really cool. Yeah. And then around, 2008, 2009, it started changing. They started introducing ads. They started really commercializing that model. And then, fast forward to Cambridge Analytica. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that it got from there to where it is, there was internal decisions. So obviously, the guys at the top knew what was going on.
If you can manipulate
that's the crux of what I think, in a way, is happening with CoinMarketCap, is now that there's this commercialization model that they're starting to use, because we're making good money off of this. How do we increase the profits? And that's exactly what happened with Facebook. That they just went from layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, and they didn't really take a look at not what the effect is, but how were they actually going about things, and was it the right way?
Right.
And then as well, the other side of it is, what happens if, let's say, Binance is found to be wash trading or faking their volume massively, right? Let's say that their actual volume is 10 times less than what they're advertising. Do they get kicked out?
They would have to. I mean, you would think they should, but they're not going to.
They certainly wouldn't,
Exactly. There's all these little questions, these little things.
Gosh, Binance is the Facebook of crypto. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, you look at what just happened with that KYC hack that at first, CZ is the spin artist. He's the spin master. He actually took that KYC hack and he actually tried to turn that into a positive thing for Binance. But we're going to get better from this. This is a great thing, actually, that all these people's passport photos were stolen. And I'm like, wake up, people. What is wrong with you? Buying into this thing. And then CoinDesk puts out a story, and hidden within that story is a part where it says Binance knew full and well exactly what had happened, knew that this stuff was stolen, and then when it got exposed, they lied about it. And when the $7,000 or 7,000 Bitcoin hack happened in May, they knew customers' accounts were jeopardized. And I've gone brain dead on the word I'm looking for there, but they were stolen. The account information was stolen from several accounts, and they knew that, and they tried to hide it by saying well, we're not quite sure exactly what else may have gotten taken, but we think it was nothing. They're lying. They're big liars. They remind me so much of Facebook in the very beginning, where it started out like this good thing, right? Like, of course, in crypto, everything's on steroids, right? So everything happens 10 times faster than everything else. So Binance starts out like, they're much better than all the other exchanges. You feel like your money's safer on there. Then all of a sudden, this one hack, this one thing happens. You find out this guy, CZ's lying about this and lying about that. And I just don't think it's good, And I wish somebody would come in and do something, at least in the United States. We're going to have other, United States people aren't going to be able to trade on there if you've done KYC. So I think it's time for people to start moving away from Binance and or else we're going to do the exact same thing in crypto that we saw happen in social media.
Yes. Yep. And with the normal banking system as it is currently in the world. Exactly. You're going to have a few key players that's got monopoly. This is I can see it playing out, especially with this CoinMarketCap thing. It's coming. You're going to have a few people that's got monopoly. All the other smaller ones, the competition that comes in, are all going to be crashed. I mean, look at how many smaller new upcoming exchanges have either closed down recently or just not getting traction because the whole show is ran by monopoly. Yeah. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, in my opinion. It's a lot of people, and I think people don't want to speak out about these things, because the moment you speak out, like me, oh no, because now CoinMarketCap can maybe delist us. Oh no, I mustn't say something about Qcoin shares that's now been magically put back because, oh, now I can't list on Qcoin. That's why people don't speak out about these things, because you probably get punished for it.
But the thing is, but at the end of the day, if we as a community, because this is the Wild West, crypto is the Wild West. It's I don't want to use the word lawless, but I mean, for all intents and purposes,
for now at least.
Yeah, and without that sheriff, and I'm not advocating for that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating that it should be completely regulated, etc. Completely the opposite. I think it's up to the community to hold everyone else accountable. We need to be accountable to you guys. You guys will be accountable to us. we need to set those parameters and have that level of accountability with each other so that we can self-regulate. But no one's doing that because, as Adel says,
as we say, it's greed. It's a lot of it is a lot of people are scared, but a lot of people, it's the greed that makes them, once you get that power, once you get that taste for that kind of money, they just keep doing it. And I think that's what's getting screwed up. Like you said, we're turning this into what you're seeing with the banking system, what you're seeing with social medias and home monopolies and all this. These things we're seeing this happen in front of our face, and we need to, as a community, squash that. I think that you guys said that correctly.
And at the end of the day, what it comes down to really is speaking out about it and having the guts to stick to your guns. Realistically, this thing will it hurt the project? I don't think so. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep cracking on. CoinMarketCap it's not like they're the only organization out there that does this. There's CoinGecko, there is Live Coin Watch, there is
Coin Paprika.
There are so many other things out there that people could be using, so many sources that could be considered more trusted. Again, like I said, I can go on CoinGecko right now. I can pull up their algorithm. And they're tracking other things. They're tracking social stats. They're tracking your Twitter account. They're tracking your Telegram. They're tracking GitHub activity. There's additional things that these guys are using, which to me, because I can't see what CoinMarketCap does, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
How can I trust it?
Right.
It's like a second-hand car salesman, like he comes to you and says, oh, yeah, that engine's, we serviced it this week. And you go, okay, show me the papers. He goes, no, I can't show you the papers. You're not going to buy the car from him.
Like Bitcoin dominance, they're saying is only at 69%. But there's people that's arguing and saying that's completely flawed information, that Bitcoin dominance is actually around 90%.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good for my bags. That's all we care about, right? That's bad as they are. Listen to me. But I do, I do think though, it's like, and I've had this worry for a long time about crypto. It's the one thing I do worry about, which is I just believe like people are pretty bad by nature, and that people are greedy by nature, and that it's like if you're about to get hit by a car and you're in your car, like it's much harder to not flip that person off or to not act like they're an idiot, like it's more natural to be like, you're an idiot, or whatever, instead of like, being calm and doing things the right way. And so like when it comes to crypto, it's like, we've been given the keys to the kingdom, right? Like, but is decentralization actually some kind of utopian idea that can't really exist? Because there will always be people at the top that will try to centralize it, and I think unfortunately that seems to be what we're seeing right now, that we're heading down that path. And you have to have people that are brave to speak up like, guys, guess what? CZ's probably not coming on the show now, but you gotta say what's right. You can't just like sweep things under the rug or, deny reality. You got to look at what's going on. So I don't know.
And the thing is, what also concerns me is innovation and entrepreneurship and real competition.
Yep.
To stand a fair chance with a ranking site like CoinMarketCap. What they've done is they've just kept the top 100 and top 200, making that out as the best, okay? Burying all these other innovative, really hardworking projects. So what's going to keep happening now? Is the top 50 always going to stay the top 50 and all competition's going to get squashed because they never stand a chance? They can't get bigger exchange listings because their CoinMarketCap rank is now bad. So you can't get the big exchange listings. You can't afford those massive listing fees because you didn't run a multi-million-dollar ICO. What's going to happen to innovation and competition in this space? That's also another concern.
You just make the barrier to entry so much higher for places. I mean, there might be some project out there right now that's, could be groundbreaking, but they don't have the $500,000 to get on a big exchange, and then they're going to suffer and
die.
And you see, the thing is as well is like when you take a look at the crypto space, and like you say, it's sort of moving towards the centralization, and is decentralization a sort of utopian dream? I think to an extent it is.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say that, it is. And the reason for it is twofold. Number one, crypto has not become what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a value trade. And it was meant to be, I have insert coin name here, and I want to, send it to this person for a service or whatever it is that they're offering, and they sort of send it back. It's become more of a stock market, really. And the stock market is run by a very, very small select people that are sitting at the top. And that moves into the second point, and that is that I don't think humanity is ready for it. I just don't think we're at the point of enlightenment or evolution where we can really just turn off our greed or our need to be empowered by this thing financially and just go, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'm going to use it for what it is. If everybody stopped using CoinMarketcap today, right, everybody just went, okay, we're not going to do it anymore, we're going to stop, and they had 0 views. How is that going to change things? It's going to completely ruin them, right? Yeah. Now, that's not what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating for ruining these things, but CoinMarketCap is not the only one out there. And
we got options.
Exactly. It's the mentality that needs to change of like, I don't need to go to a central source anymore for my truth. I can find that in multiple places. I can aggregate the results across multiple places if needs be. It just requires a little bit of effort.
Just a little bit of work. But I mean, after I saw your video, I ended up getting rid of CoinMarketCap. I do the CoinGecko. I think it's a fantastic app. So you do have choices.
And the team is transparent as well, because I actually looked at CoinMarketCap versus CoinGecko, Crypto Compare, and all these others, and I see CoinGecko as CoinMarketCap's direct competition.
Right.
And the whole team is up there. You can see who's behind it, who's doing development, who's the owner, who's running the show. CoinMarketCap, the only people that was ever in public that we know of was Luke and Eric. You don't know
Luke ditched us on the show like 3 times.
But he's gone. He doesn't even work there anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't know who's behind CoinMarketCap. A lot of people are speculating that the whole Zendesk system is all that they run on, and the name Aaron and Jay and Katie and all those names are all actually 1 or 2 people just using different names, and that's how the system is run. But we don't know who's behind this. And I just say there's sometimes a reason why people hide so far away from public and don't want to know who's who, because I don't know. For me, it's just sketchy.
What if it's CZ and Justin Sun?
With CoinMarketCap, it reminds me of, I was trying to gather my thoughts there because I had a really good thing to say here. It reminds me of the website Snopes. Do you know about the website Snopes?
Ooh, yeah. It's been a long time since I saw the Snopes.
So when the interwebs were first getting real big, when people were starting to branch off of American Online for the first time from AOL and realized there was an internet outside of the America Online chat rooms, Snopes became a very popular website for urban legends. It's where you would go like, oh yeah, you heard that you eat 8 spiders in your sleep every year. Well, you go to Snopes and you look it up and they're like, no, that's not actually true. Like spiders don't even
okay.
Yeah, so spiders wouldn't even want to get in your mouth. Like it's wet in there. Like they don't even want that, like they want to be somewhere in a dark corner that's, dry and stuff. Like if you think like every Halloween, like your kids are getting razor blades in their apples and stuff. It's like, no, that's not true. Well, this became like the unequivocal source of like, this is where people go to find out urban legends, right? And then they started getting a little political and they started talking about like, conspiracies that people have, like whether it's the moon, people landing on the moon, whatever it is. But people started taking this website like this was the truth. Everything on this website is the truth. And you have like this idea that this was like some big corporate thing. It was literally a man and a woman running this out of their basement in the middle of the
You see?
Really?
Yes, 100%. You can look this up. Don't go to Snopes to confirm it though, because you can't trust us. But seriously, like when I found that out, I was like, man, for years, like I just thought that it was just a man and a woman that when people would put up questions, they would go Google it and find the answers and they put it on there, and they would try to use good sources, but at the end of the day, it's just 2 people, and that could be CoinMarketCap. It might just be 1 guy, 2 guy, 3 guy, whatever it is, however many it is, there's just like banking, making so much money on the ad revenue And, it might just be somebody who has a slant a certain way, or maybe they're not that careful about what they're doing, whatever it might be. But when you don't know who the people are that are running it, that is very, very concerning in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it comes down to, would you invest in a coin these days? Right. I mean,
no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to stop you right there. No, I would not invest in a coin these days.
We know already what the question is, and it's no.
Yeah. So you're not going to put money into a new project that you don't know the team, or that you don't know what the mission is, you don't know what the goal is, you don't know what they're doing. You're going to do that research, and you're going to go, no. I don't like this. I don't think there's enough transparency. I'm not going to take that risk, right? So why would you take that risk with your research?
Well, people just automatically trust CoinMarketCap because they're number one.
But why? If you're researching coins, if you're researching projects, why would you not go and say, is my source of truth a source of truth? Can I trust the source of truth?
DYOR, aka do your own research, it means watch 5 YouTubers and make a decision based on what they say. That's in all seriousness, that's legit, that's not what it, that's what people do.
Is that the threshold? Is 5 videos you've informed yourself enough to make
5 different YouTubers? It's got to be 5 different ones. You can't watch the same video by unless it's my videos. I mean, if it's my videos, you watch them and just do whatever you want, But listen, let's talk about DAPS, because we've really gotten really deep in the woods with this CoinMarketCap situation, because I think it is a very important topic.
It is.
But tell us a little bit about your project. What's going on with it these days? Tell us where it's ranked on CoinGecko and not on CoinMarketCap.
I think once
168.
Oh, let's have a look. Just pull it up quickly. While Andrew's pulling that up, I'll give a quick summary. We're just finishing up the security audit this week by Red4Sec. They're also known for the new project that they've worked on. It was a big success. So yes, the audit's finishing up this week. We're going to fix a few bugs and things that they found. Yeah, and we set for mainnet launch end of September. Very excited. It's been over a year, work in progress. Yeah, and then we're going to launch, and then it's obviously phase 4, as we call it. That's going to be, the extra features. We've got the multi-sig wallets we want to do.
Multi-sig wallets are actually going to be available for mainnets. And the reason being is because I think it was kind of my choice. I kind of forced it on the developers because I think people would be a lot happier having, for example, the dev fund that we have in a multi-sig wallet, so that they know there's not just one guy running around with a private key that could be stolen, compromised, or just simply run away with it. So multi-sig is coming out.
With it, and mobile apps are coming out.
Mobile wallets as well.
Oh, mobile wallets, yes. Sorry,
not mobile. Mobile wallets. So mobile wallets are coming out as well. Everything seems to be on track right now. As is the case with software development, anything can change within a few minutes. But from everything that I'm getting from the developers and the auditors, it's all on track.
And what's exciting is the fact that we were willing to able to identify flaws in other projects that's in the privacy space, to see where they went wrong, what's the challenges they currently have. And we could improve on that.
Yeah.
And now come out with a product that doesn't have any of those issues. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, there are a few things that obviously responsible disclosure will have to take place.
Yep.
And that'll come within due course. But it all looks pretty solid. The transition process, which is being built by our partner Swaps.network, that is in the pipeline at the moment. We're backwards and forwards with the user interface and how it all works in the background.
Make it simple.
We think we've got it pretty well sorted. And the beauty of that is as well, once mainnet's launched and after the integration is complete, we then have our own OTC desk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's happening as well. And to answer your question, we're currently on CoinGecko at 168. Right.
All right. Well, there you go. You guys are moving on up. You know, right? You're right. In CoinMarketCap, you're at 176, and they did your own, but now you're going up on CoinGecko. So definitely good news. So what if there was a project that you would kind of compare yourselves to? Like, what is something out there that, like if someone hasn't heard of DAPS Coin, like what's something that you can say that is like, this is something that obviously we're doing different. We've got our own mainnet and all this stuff, but like, what is something similar?
It's a little bit difficult in as much as...
That's why I asked it. It's a tough question. I like asking questions.
Yeah, I appreciate the easy questions.
He's putting us on the spot here.
Basically, we would sort of be compared to, I think, the PIVXs of the world.
Okay.
Purely because of the proof of stake algorithms we're using, POS v3. We do have masternodes and staking wallets, of course. But in that sense, we're different. We're a little bit sort of Monero-ish because we have ring CT, so ring confidential transactions, ring SIGs, and bulletproofs. So we're sort of a blend of not a blend of those two, but we've taken sort of those bits and pieces and pieced them together. And then proof of audit, which is our auditing mechanism, which basically what it does is it audits the emissions. So one of the things like fake stake and attacks of that nature are mitigated by this because it goes, hang on, the emissions for these blocks are incorrect. There's too many or there's too few. So somebody's trying to attack the chain at this particular point. We can then identify that and we can then make the necessary adjustments. So we've got this little tax man on top that sort of double checks, make sure that everybody's all.
And our ring sizes are also increased.
Ring sizes just increased. So you guys will actually be the first people to hear this outside of developers and Adel and I.
Breaking news.
Big news. Previously, the ring size. So our ring sizes are randomized. The system picks it automatically within a range. It used to be 6 to 12. We were advised to increase that in order to increase the security and the privacy and anonymity. So it's now going to be 11 to 15. So the ring size, when you use our wallet, you will not be able to affect it. You cannot pick. You're going to be like, okay, I'm always going to use 11 because then it's kind of obvious. People can start de-anonymizing the chain that way. Mm-hmm. So it's completely random, but it will pick between 11 and 15 instead of the 6 to 12.
Yeah. And how much is Monero?
Which means I need to go change the white paper.
Yeah, how much is Monero?
Monero's currently on 11. They'll be moving to 12 with the next update.
Interesting. Yeah, the ring signatures are. I like that method. I think that's a good way of keeping things private compared to some of the other things. Do you guys have an optional private send, or is it okay?
Always private.
Always private. Privacy is always on. You cannot turn it off.
What do you guys think about kind of the future of privacy coins? Because, I don't know if you know, but you probably do know, but Zcash was delisted from Coinbase in the UK.
Yes.
I broke that story. That was me. I don't know if you guys know that. I was the first one. I had it 2 days before anybody else. Somebody sent me their email, so nobody else reported on it. Like I reported on a Friday and Coindesk didn't even talk about it until the Monday. And I was like really surprised because I thought it was a big deal. So, Coinbase had broken up with Barclays Bank in the UK. And they have a new partner, which is Clearbank. And supposedly, Clearbank basically required them. They said, look, if we're going to work with you, that's okay. We'll do it. We want to do it, but you're going to have to delist Zcash. And I would assume, I think the common sense approach here would be it was removed because it's privacy coin. So do you feel like there's kind of a war coming against privacy coins? Because that's something that I've been hesitant to, invest in privacy coins. Because
you go first.
Yeah, I think there always has been. I think there always will be. But it's a very, very simple reason. It's extremely simple. Those that are in power don't want to give it up.
Yeah, that's true.
The government, come on, the government sits there and goes, oh, sure, don't worry about your taxes. It's fine. We won't tax you on it. Of course they will. They want their money. They want their pound of flesh every single time. So do the banks. The banks don't want to give up this massive control that they have. So yeah, there's always going to be a war. There's a war on crypto and there's going to be an even bigger war on privacy coins because privacy coins are the exact antithesis of what the establishment wants.
Yeah.
Does that mean that there's going to be more focus on it? I think potentially so. Like if you look at what's happening in Venezuela, for example, the entire country has basically gone dash, right? Because they don't want this corrupt government and this corrupt institutions getting a hold of their assets. So they've gone, bang, we're going to stick it in dash. And at the end of the day, I think where regulation and where the government and where the banks are going to step in is at exchanges.
Yeah, exchanges.
The minute you go to fiat currency, that's where it's going to. That's where they have the.
That's the attack. That's the attack zone right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to have our own OTC desks. We're going to have DEX options, and we're just going to have to keep at it because it's the only way we're eventually going to win. I think the war on crypto, aka privacy coins as well, is going to be about as successful as the war on drugs. Which is not very successful.
So it's going to work 100%. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be reported that way. At the end of the day, I think that what all crypto needs, and I'm not talking about just DAPS, I'm not talking about just privacy coin, so as a whole. If the four of us can go down to the local shop and buy our groceries using crypto and using any which one that we choose.
An exchange, yeah.
No, not an exchange.
No, exchange of values.
A value exchange. But if we can go down to the grocery store, we can buy our local groceries, go get a beer, go get, whatever it is that we need with that crypto. That's when we win. It's getting there.
But then again, they have the power. Governments have the power of, you have to have a license for this. You got to have KYC for that. So again, it's going to be a struggle. I think it's going to be, the next 5 years is going to be a hard battle. And not just for privacy coins, also for all crypto-related things. And I think for pushing that decentralization, for trying to get banks out of the ecosystem and all of that, I think to be honest, it's going to be a battle. It's not going to be easy, but if everybody keeps at it and we keep pushing this, I think we can win. We must try and not become a cashless society, which is where it's going. It's going to be a battle. I don't know. What's your opinion? Let's hear what you guys have to say about it.
Well, I think we've kind of come full circle in the conversation. I mean, we're talking about things, a bloody battle that's going to be coming, and it is going to be coming. Nobody thought this was going to be easy, but the people that we're fighting against are the people that are outside of crypto. But now we have the people in crypto at the top of the power structure. Now it's it's two front. It's a two front battle. We've got to be here, a two front war. We're fighting the people at the top of crypto, and we're having to fight all the people outside of crypto, the banks, the governments, all this stuff. And so, that's what troubles me a little bit, is we should at least be somewhat unified on this side of things. And it seems like that, I can't remember the phrase exactly, like power corrupts, pure unadulterated power corrupts.
Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So that's the way I kind of see things. And that's what it's going to be hard, but if we're having to fight both at the same time, I don't know if it's winnable, I don't know. What do you think, James?
Well, you keep seeing stuff like, what's going on with trade wars with US and China. You kind of see all these things that are happening within the world that are going to cause changes to the ecosystem. All right. So say X country has no involvement, whatever, with these trade wars, but they're still going to get affected with their shipping, with their chains, supply chains, all that stuff. So it's going to cause issues worldwide. So if the world wants to keep screwing things up, this is our opportunity. So like you guys said, internally, we got to figure this out so that when it's our time to shine, we're ready to go.
Yes.
And that's why we need more shows like this, where you guys are willing to ask those hard questions, where you're willing to talk about the topics that other people aren't willing to talk about, and you're willing to put it out there. I applaud you for that. Fantastic. More power to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we try to give the hard-hitting truth in beards. That's what we do here. Please,
I'm working on the beard. I've got the truth.
Don't judge my beard. We talked about it last week. My barber gapped my beard up. It should be longer, but the guy went a little crazy. So, well, Adel and Andrew, thank you so much for joining us, talking about DAPS and also what happened on CoinMarketcap. I think it's a great conversation, like you guys said. And tell everybody where they can find you guys at.
DAPScoin.com. We're also everywhere, Discord, Telegram, Twitter. Our moderators are very active 24/7. I try and engage with the community as much as possible. I feel transparency and accessibility is very important for any project out there at the moment. And reach out to me anytime, Twitter, DM, email, Adel at DAPS Coin, Andrew at DAPS Coin. Easy. Yeah, we're willing to answer any questions, or if you want to talk about the CoinMarketcap issue, we just click off a button away.
That is the one cool thing. We've talked about this a couple of times on the show, but the cool thing about our industry is that you are just a click of a button away from chatting to someone who's developing this project. It's not like I can't just go online and get the CEO of Home Depot. He's not going to answer.
You can talk to Alexa. I mean, that might be good enough.
That's right.
I refuse to have one of those things.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I won't have one.
Yeah.
No,
for various reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, thank you guys. You guys make sure to go check out DAPS Coin. Check them out on CoinGecko, not on CoinMarketcap. And that's all we got for today. We will see you guys next time.
Thanks
for having us. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.